All right, welcome back to 40-Day Refresh. Today we're going to continue talking about the practical areas of life, and we're going to be talking about time. How do we be more efficient and more productive with the time that we have? And if you don't have the online course and the email series that go with this program, 40-Day Refresh, you can go to danielfoley.net/40, the number 40-day refresh, and you get access to those there. They're completely free, but it's got some additional materials that will be helpful for you, hopefully, as we go through this program. Remember, our goal is to get to the place where we get clear on the direction and the purpose that we want to be taking over the next year of our life and develop a plan for moving forward. So let's talk about time here. Let's talk about a couple key mindsets first when it comes to time, which is number one, is that time does not need to be managed. Time needs to be controlled. Time is about control and efficiency. These are some of the key concepts when it comes to time. How can I become more and more in control of my time, but also more and more efficient with my time is one of the biggest keys. Now, we also need to realize you have plenty of time. A lot of times we make the excuse, I just don't have time. I just don't have the time to do it. You have plenty of time. We just need to be in better control of it, and we need to be looking to continually find ways to be more efficient with our time. A lot of times we spin our wheels doing a lot of things that maybe are not the most effective use of our time. We got to get more efficient with the time that we do have. One of the best ways to do that, I've actually found, is to slow down. When we slow down, like we've talked about in the mindset principles, when we slow down, we actually get better plans and we get more efficient. Too often we're stuck in this doing mode, and we never take any time to develop better plans. So slowing down and planning, how can I get more efficient with my time, is one of the best things you can do when it comes to being more productive with your time. Now, one of the other big principles to realize with time is that is a good principle that I learned a while back, which is that more always gets done in compressed time. So think about this, compressed time. Set a timer. I'm going to get, in an hour, I'm going to get as much done, or in 5 minutes, I'm going to get as much done. For example, you could take this, I've done this with journaling. Sometimes you sit there like, I don't know what to write. Well, you just do this. You set a timer for 5 minutes, and you just write continually for 5 minutes. Whatever comes to your mind, just keep writing it down for 5 minutes. You'll be amazed at how much more you get into your journaling pages than when you just sit there and try to think of things. But you put a time limit on it. More always gets done in compressed time. So for example, in health and fitness, people want to do really long workouts. Well, set a time limit on your workout. And how can I get as much done as possible in my workout and begin to get more efficient with the time that I have? More always gets done in compressed time. So if you begin to set some time limits on things, set some deadlines, and try to get the work done within those deadlines, it's a much more effective way to work. Now, one of the other key principles to understand about time is that on our abundant life blueprint, the room for health and the room for time, they are a balancing pair. Health and time are meant to work together and make each other better. What's the biggest excuse we typically see in the gym for people saying that they can't eat better or they can't exercise? Is a lack of time. What's the truth? You have plenty of time. We have to reprioritize, going back to our order sequence, and being in control of our time, because my health and my time are very related. Now, on a side note, a lot of times we get stuck in work where we are stuck getting paid for our time. So if you ever get the opportunity to switch to getting paid for the results that you produce, I think it's always a better deal, because it puts you back in control of your time. Rather than getting paid for your time, trading hours for dollars, if you can get paid for the results that you produce, you're going to be, I think it's a more mature place to be with your finances and in your time. The trouble is most people don't want to go there because they are scared to death to get paid for the results that they produce, because now you can't just get paid for showing up. You have to actually produce something. You have to be creative and to produce and to be innovative and to be efficient. But the truth is, when you get paid for your results, you might produce 1 hour of work in compressed time, and it generates you tons of revenue rather than just showing up and getting paid for your time. So you want to switch whenever you get the opportunity. I think it's God's system. You want to be switching, not be getting paid for your time, but to be getting paid for the results that you produce. I think it's always a good thing to do. Now, let's talk about applying the principle of the beginning and the end to your time, to your day. Let's talk about your morning and evening routines. It's the fundamentals of time. We need to have a good morning and we need to have a good evening routine in place. In the morning routine, 3 things: connect with God, get my mind right, get my mind and emotions in a good place, and prepare my physical body for the day. So connecting with God, we talked about things like gratitude and the prayer of Jabez, reading your proverb for the day, getting your mind right, journaling and listening to God, and reading and continually learning and listening and finding finding ways to learn and get your mind right. Journaling goes into that as well. And physical body, having a good breakfast. If you want to exercise in the morning, stretching your body, daily mobility routine. My typical routine: wake up in the morning, get in the shower, start my day with gratitude and prayer of Jabez and variations of that. And then I will come downstairs. I will usually get into the book of Proverbs and a little bit of additional Bible reading on top of that. And then I will journal. A lot of times it'll be the 5-minute compressed time journaling. What can I write in 5 minutes? Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but I'll set a time limit on it. Typically I found it produces better results in my journaling to do it that way. And then I will go into making a healthy breakfast, like we talked about, a balanced plate, like we've talked about, of a fruit or vegetable, protein, a healthy carb, a little bit of healthy fat, big glass of water before we get breakfast going. And then while I'm cooking breakfast, I will be listening to something that's, getting my mind in a good place for the day, and that's my morning routine. Now you can condense it down or you can extend it out to make it longer or shorter, but then in the evening routine, we want to talk about the bookend of the day. It's interesting, in the Jewish culture, they have a different conception, a concept of time, which is that the beginning of the day is actually in the evening, because in the book of Genesis, they say God said first there was evening and then there was morning. So they actually have this principle that the day actually starts when the sun goes down in the evening, which changes your perspective a little bit, and that I have to start getting ready and planning my day in the evening for the next day to come. So what are some things we should be doing in the evening? Number one, processing and clearing emotions. It could be through journaling, it could be through praying, somehow getting emotions cleared out. If you need to forgive somebody and reconcile, all that stuff is being handled by the end of the day, so those emotions don't continue to stir in your system. You want to spend some time connecting with your loved ones and your important people in your life. It could be your spouse, your kids, friends, family, whoever it is. Spend some time connecting with important people in your life. We want to do something I call scribing the Bible. So the way I typically connect with God in the evening is by what I call scribing the Bible. So years ago I came across a marketing online course that the guy was teaching that the fastest way to get into the flow of what the author was thinking and to become a better marketer and copywriter was actually to begin to handwrite out letters that worked. And God began to show me that, hey, scribing the Bible is one of the best ways for you to get into the flow of how God thinks, how God writes, how God communicates. And so what I've learned is that scribing the Bible, so I'll write out just a couple paragraphs usually, and then I will read them out loud. So I'm embodying the Bible, and I'm writing it out, and I'm speaking it out loud. I'm expressing it in 2 to 3 ways. And now what you're going to find is a powerful method for becoming a better communicator, better writer, better speaker, better marketer, better communicator, better leader. All these things improve. We'll talk more about this in some later programs, but that's one of the things I do in the evening. And then the other part of this is we want to plan your day. So in the evening, we want to plan your day. What am I looking ahead? What is my one thing that I want to get done tomorrow? We'll be talking more about that tomorrow. But what is the one thing that I want to get done tomorrow? What is the one thing that's going to make the biggest bang for my buck and move my life forward at least one more step when I look at my day tomorrow? And then finally, before you go to bed, I want you to stretch, like we talked about before. Do your stretching routine before you go to bed. Helps you to sleep better, improved energy levels, joints feel better. All kinds of good stuff happens when we stretch before bed. So morning routine: connect with God, get your mind right, get your physical body ready for the day. Evening routine: clear out and process emotions, get them out of your system if you need to. Connect with the key and important people in your life. Spend a little bit of time by connecting with God and scribing and reading out loud from the Bible. Plan your day, and then stretch before bed. Now, some of you may say, you know what, this sounds like a lot. Well, if it sounds like a lot, just start small, gradually implement what you can, and you'll grow from there into an evening routine and a morning routine that works for you.